What's going on, guys? Welcome to another stream with Phrankleen. If this is your first time, thank you for stopping by. Sorry, my voice is a bit husky today. Right. Let's see who's online. Hit the like button if you can hear me. Let's see who is online, man. This is your first time, give consideration to liking the video. Smash the subscribe button. All right. Hit the bell button so you're alerted when I'm online. Let's see who is online. Let's go. Let's get the show started, shall we? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. So, sorry, if it looks a bit pixelated, that's my internet connection. Forgive me. Don't know why. So, anyways, this one, somebody sent me this story. Quite interesting. It's one that made me laugh, but I'd try to make it a bit interactive and see how that goes, right? So basically, I've had like 4 people send me the story. So I thought I'd talk about it. If you can hear me, you can see me, hit the like button. Okay. Let me raise my volume a little bit. Can you hear me? Hit the like button. So basically, a 73-year-old Kenyan man drags his son to court seeking 20% of the son's salary for upkeep. So this is the story. A 73-year-old Kenyan man moved to court seeking to have a son. He sued his son, surrender 20% of his earnings for his maintenance. Now, he claims that his 48-year-old son abandoned him despite having contributed to his education until university level. In the papers filed at the High Court, he stated that his son does not send him money, any upkeep, even though he's currently working at Kenyan Airport Authority, right? So he has, 4 children. Among his 4 children, one of them said Washington. Washington is the name of the son that's being sued. Is the only one who is currently employed. One second. So, right. So I used all the resources. I had to enable the defendant to be in a good position so that he can help us. Right now, my wife and I are in a horrible state, yet we have a son who is working. The plaintiff, the father is the plaintiff, right? Said in a civil lawsuit in the High Court. I sold my land to educate him from primary to university. I also gave him a 1/4 of an acre. I even went ahead to pay dowry for the defendant's wife, which cost me 4 cows and some amount of money. The aggrieved father said, I pray that since he has a good salary, I request 20% of his salary to be given to me as the father. He pleaded with the court. So the case could develop into a precedent setting affair, as upkeep is normally reserved for minors, and there is no clear-cut directive on how children who become adults should take care of their parents. Now, he attached a testimony from one individual, another one of his sons, who also maintains that his brother should relinquish a part of his salary for his father's upkeep. That's one of the unemployed siblings. The defendant, it's claimed that the defendant deserted his parents after he got a job. They're saying it is now 17 years since we saw him. He does not come or send any assistance to us, forgive me. It does not, we are leading a very horrible life after the defendant consumed the very thing our father had so as to take him to school, said one of the siblings. So, yeah, I wish we can get hold of the judge's ruling. This is insane, isn't it? So, you know, check this out, man. I mean, these emanated from Kenya. This is from Kenya, but from a black point of view, man, it's staggering. So, what do you guys think? What do you think? You know, somebody, the guy probably found Franklein's channel. So I had 4 different people send this story to me. Yeah, it's mind blowing because I am for. Let me approach it this way. I am for, if you can, whatever you can afford, do for your parents. I have never gone against that on my platform. One of my main points has been, don't throw out money at your own detriment. Particularly, I always say this from a diasporan point of view, because plenty of people have done this over the years. People way older than me. People have spent years playing God, taking care of mommy, daddy, other siblings, university, high school, set up business, monthly upkeep. They themselves don't have 2 pair of shoes, don't have clothing, and everything is just absolutely nuts. And then they end up being disgruntled, they end up broke, then they're old now, they might be bedbound with illness, and then you develop resentment. You realize that your younger years, you've spent it playing God. You're broke, no investment. And oftentimes it happens that those people that you threw your money at, they turn out better than you. And then some of them turn their back against you, and they even call you all sorts of names. But in this instance, again, parent child, should a parent sue their child for upkeep? What do you guys think? You know, when I saw this, I actually thought it was a prank at first. I kind of giggled just looking at the title of the article. Then I read, and I was reading in horror. So 4 different people from my channel sent me the links, different links to the same story. And I thought I was going to do it today. What would you do as a parent? Would you sue your child? I'd like to. We owe nothing to our parents. No, Tammy, that's a bit harsh. You see, there's a mixture of these. It's the entitlement mentality is what brings about destruction, resentment, and he has 3 jobless siblings. They are all expecting handout. This guy works as an airport, works for the Kenyan Airport Authority. You understand? I'm not saying don't give them, but let me read this person. I will, Lady N. I will sue the child. If I paid your university and dowry, then give me my money back in today's value. Nah, I'm sorry. That's absolutely wrong. That's your child. You understand me? Just like they didn't ask to be born. What's wrong with helping them go to university and paying their fees? Because at the time they would have started university, They clearly don't have any money to pay, send themselves to university. So this whole idea of I will sue the child because I paid your university and dowry. Let's leave dowry aside. Because you sent a child to university, it's crazy. It's heightened sense of entitlement. It's absolutely dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. It's your responsibility, man. You made love to whomsoever, just like I'm sat here. I didn't ask to be born when I was brought into existence. It's your duty to support your children. And the thing about Africa, I want to balance this. Sorry, my voice sounds a bit, it's a bit, it's quite disheartening, you know. It's heartbreaking when I read stories like this. And unfortunately, there are plenty Africans with this mindset. I sent you to university. I did this, I did that. I get that. I get that. Yeah, my voice is raspy. Thank you, Abalaji. That's a good word, raspy. Yeah. You will sue your child. It's disgraceful, man. Because what you don't understand is they then become adults. So basically, part of the entitlement as well is you expect an adult child to declare their salary to you because you send them to university. Because in order for this man to be able to sue this child properly and get judgment, he will be asking that the court make an order that the child declare his earnings, provide his bank statement, his pay slips. Wow. No, somebody said, I think it's a joke. No, it's not. It's not a joke. And I know it sounds like a joke, but it's not. It's not a joke. This is for real. If you couldn't afford to send your child to school, should you be having children in the first place? Your children are not your retirement plan. You see, this idea that children are mandatorily my retirement plan. Let me balance this argument. Children, good parents, hear me out, good parents should be looked after. In this case, this man has 4 children. So from his point of view, because one of them went to university, he paid his dowry, right? He works as part of Kenyan Airport Authority. Not only does this man want money, he wants upkeep for himself, his wife, and the 3 jobless siblings. Because you pay dowries in form of 4 cows. It's mind-blowing. It's the lawyer pro bono. They have money to pay lawyer. Somebody says, I suspect, or perhaps pro bono. Somebody said court of law will rule against him. You never know. When you get to the legal playing field, sometimes you'll be surprised by some outcomes. You just never know. This could set a jaw-dropping precedent in Kenya. A lot of African parents don't have the idea of paying it forward. Even if you don't give your immediate children, your children, pay it forward for your grandchildren so that your own children can do it for their own children's children, passing on assets. Providing good springboard, financial springboard for your children. Do you understand? It's the idea of I'm going to plow through life. You don't guarantee yourself of success, of a good retirement. You don't make plans when you're still strong, but you guarantee yourself that you're going to be broke. They have to be a retirement plan. I cannot get my head around it. What's up, Gina? Hey, yo, listen. Let me just say to you guys, man. You love Phrankleen. You love Phrankleen. Let's let the Christmas presents start pouring in, man. All right. Before I forget, although I don't celebrate Christmas, but holiday presents for Mr. Phrankleen, let it start pouring in via PayPal and Cash App. You love Phrankleen, right? Now, on a serious note, I had a bit of an event situation before I started this live stream. So my voice. Let me see. Let me see. I have 5 kids and I do not expect no demand for them to take care of me. Do you know? This is my outlook. You see, these matter is multifaceted, and I'll explain very quickly. It's absolutely crucial. Like when you go through the formative years, when kids you were young, they were like sponges. If you show them love, you have an awesome relationship. You don't subject them to domestic abuse. You have an awesome relationship with your children. I know some children might turn out a little twisted. That's life, ikaudoba. But what I'm saying is, I know life happens. Most people might desire to have their own savings, their own portfolio that they can rely on when they grow old. Sometimes stuff happens, right? You might be a victim of a ghastly accident, and that changes the dynamics of your life. Everything changes. You become wheelchair bound. You're using a walking stick now. You can't do that job no more. The business you were running collapses. You lose your partner. It changes the dynamics of your emotional construct. Things happen, and I know it can deplete your funds. You had to treat your wife with cancer, things like that. I know, I know. And these things happen to the greatest, nicest people. All right. They don't happen just because that person was a bad person. No. But here's the thing. If you're a good dad, you good mother, you have a healthy relationship, you shouldn't really worry, because a lot of these things will happen organically. I love something when things happen naturally. Like if a child, dad, um, I just bought you a phone, you know, that's like organic, rather than me hounding my child for a phone. And then they start grumbling that I haven't got money, I've got to pay my rent, I've got children, da 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 da. And then, oh, I need a phone. You understand? If my child buys me a phone, even if I can afford it 20 times, I'll be grateful. I'll thank them. I'll bless them for it. But they're not obligated to get me a phone. Do you understand? But it's these you must. I raised you. When your mother had you via C-section, I was crying blood. I was on the floor butt naked when you were born. Oh, that would be bad in the theater. Oh, I carried you, blah, blah, blah. Nah, emotional blackmail. Because now, when they become adults, they will resent you when you become a nuisance. And that's the problem with a lot of parents. They become a nuisance. They start attacking the children, hounding them to death. There's some parents, If they see their child with a new pair of glasses, they ask you for money. If they realize that you've just changed your phone, they hound you for money. They're parents like that. If you go and say hello to them and they can smell your perfume, they ask you for money. It's like you cannot do anything for yourself. They must get theirs. I've seen them like that. They become utter nuisance. Man, at least his dad trained and sponsored him to get where he is today and felt entitled to 20%. That's the thing. I trained you. I sponsored you. Sorry. You see, there's only two sides to a coin. I trained you. I sponsored you. I gave you XYZ. Yeah, that's right. I get that. Somebody might say, Franklin, if you can see your child and you see where I'm going to dad you, like this one is mean, this child, that don't get me wrong. Let me balance my argument. It's coming to me carefully now. I know there are some children, their parents bombarded them with love. They did their best for them. Then they grow up. They become selfish human beings. There are some people like that. Trust me. Just like some parents raised some children with good values to give him good life. He grows up, he becomes a serial killer. He grows up, he just becomes a guy that just goes off tangent and does some crazy stuff. And as parents, when you have multiple children, one, two, three, four children, you raise them, you will know. You can see them because you birthed them. You would know the ones that are, oh, this one is. That's why when we have the conversations about parents having favorite child, that's why some parents tend to have favorite children. It's not good. I'm not justifying it. You would see them with their qualities. Say your car broke down. There is one. If you call him, it's raining heavily. I'm stuck. Please come and get me. Car's broken. I got a flat tire. I'm stuck. I haven't got money on me. He'll probably think, let me have a quick 2 rounds of sex with my girlfriends first before I go get my mom from the rain. Do you understand? I'm a T. I'm all right. I just had a bit of an event. Do you understand? So there is one. I'm stuck in the rain. I got a flat tire. Mom, Dad. The other one might just take a sharp left and get a quick back shot before thinking of getting in the car 2 hours later. I'm just giving a scenario here. Falcon Black. You get the gist. Well, call AAA. I'm just assuming they haven't got AAA. You understand me? So, how cold is the UK right now? It's pretty cold, man. Cold. Let's look at the weather forecast. Since you asked me. Chai, Ontario minus 19. Gosh. Oh, 6 degrees. It's cold. Chicago minus 5 degrees. Reminds me, I digress, reminds me of when I traveled to the States for the first time. Was it back in 2014? And I went to Chicago. I didn't know that Chicago was crazy, crazy cold. It was minus. When I came out of the airport, I had just a slightly thick jacket, my denim, and a pair of Converse. And then we came out, and everywhere the tarmac was covered in snow. And then I remember my friend that came to pick me up was just like, dude, where's your winter jacket, man? Chicago was crazy. America is crazy cold, man. It's crazy, crazy. They go deep into the minus. It's mind blowing. I had to go shopping. They took me shopping. I had to get like another jacket, and then I had double thermal wear, 2 pair of socks, and some heavy snow boots. People with tires, they had chains on them. Chains is crazy. But what I found really fascinating is Americans go to work, man. They clear the main roads, and people still go to work, go get money. Yeah. So anyway, back to the story, man. Let me give you the link. I think it's a crazy ass parent. Let me just tell you the way I feel. It's only a crazy ass parent that would drag their children to court to sue them. That's quite extreme. Let me get you the link and come talk to me, man. Lionel, I know you're there, man. Send me an email, bro. Let's talk about crypto. I want to bring you on for crypto. I want to talk about the basics of cryptocurrency, what's going on with crypto. Let's see how we can run 2-3 episodes, Lionel. What do you think, Lionel? I saw you online in the comment section now, bro. You bang me an email. Let's see what we can do, man. See how we can talk about finance, cryptocurrency, talk about the basics. How can black folks tap into it? You know, sort of let's do a compilation of a couple of online materials. What can you do? Do you provide training and stuff like that? Bang me an email, Lionel. All right, brother. Yes, send me an. Who's that, man? Crypto is not a scam. Stop it, man. Ola, it's not. Stop it. It's not a scam. You know nothing about it, Ola. If I gave you money that I made off crypto, I know you'd be like, Phrankleen, thank you, brother. Oh, let's see. Someone's online. Hello. Hello. Joseph. Alonda. Are you there? I think Joseph is asleep. Somebody said, hold on. Let me see. But should look after your parents if they're good. Of course. Come on, bro. I expect any sensible. Oh, Vanessa. 1 second, Vanessa. I expect any sensible person do what you can. You see, my own campaign about this, do for your parents. We're not preaching abandonment exactly. No. But you see, don't fall for the trap of playing God, emotional blackmail. Oh, mom, I have a parcel of land. I'm trying to start my foundation. No, you must build for us first because we gave birth to you. We brought you to life. I'm your father. I'm your mother. The first house you build, you must build for your mother and father. If you don't build it, Amash Sheriff, we will curse you. Oh, you suck these CDs. Do you understand? Don't do that, man. You know what's funny about life? You may have an opportunity to build a home today. Through the rest of your life, life is funny. Some people may be privileged. They may be blessed enough to own two properties, 3, 4. Some, one. Just that one. It's good enough for a lifetime. So if you misuse that resource, that money, when you had it, if you misuse it, you may not get the chance again. I don't saw a story for the gods, yeah. On down, I can dagi boy, Lori. You understand me? Let me bring on. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Vanessa, you're next, and then Marilyn, and then the diva. Right, go on.
It's nice to be back on this topic again. Good evening to you, Phrankleen. Um,
So,
I made a statement earlier on. I understand the comment. What I was coming from is that at least the man actually bothered to even pay his school fees to university training. There are some fathers who
yeah.
basically is this entitlement culture with African parents, which is sickening. Um, I, I'll use myself as an example. I left my dad when I was 4 years old. He actually kicked me and my mom and my two siblings out of the house him and my mom built back in the 80s and dumped us in the welfare and didn't even allow my mom to even have us and tried to punish my mom by
Which country is this?
Nigeria.
Wow.
And throughout my life growing up, I was in boarding school. He never even bothered to see us, even though he knew we were in school. His friend worked there. So and throughout the 90s, never bothered with us until I left as soon as I got abroad, it felt entitled to the for me to send the money, regardless of my situation, even though I was a
Bro,
teenager at the
come
time.
on, man. He wants the pound sterling.
Yeah. And over the years, it never really bothered. Even when my sister and I would do something for him, it was not bothered. Until last year, he wanted to know us. He wanted us to I think he had a stroke and realized that the game was over for him. And he's got other young kids with he's been married several times. I don't even know how many wives he's been married to, and I don't even know. Now he felt entitled that we have to look after him now every month and pay his bill and everything. And he actually lied to us previously that he had stroke. We'll send him money. Recently, he actually had stroke. We tried to out of
Wait, wait,
sympathy.
wait. Wait, he previously lied about stroke.
Yeah, he lied previously that he had stroke in order to try to extort us some money. And
Yo, yo, yo.
we found that this time he wasn't lying. So my sister and I tried to actually help him, but we found out that he was going to use the situation to extract money off us. We said to him, "Go to this doctor." We recommended a doctor for him. He was reluctant. He wanted to go the traditional way. So after going beating around the bush, I said to my sister, "We agreed. We'll give him the money. Let him look after himself. And after that, we're not going to pay any attention to him." So give him the money he required, and we'll just cut all contact with him because he's like a stranger to us anyway because he's never bothered with us when we are growing up. So it's really weird. So we have people like these in Africa, which is sickening.
Man,
This entitlement culture that because they bring you to this life, they
it's
entitle you
sickening, bro.
to wherever you become. It's so sad. So the young man I feel sorry
You,
for him that
bro,
his father
bro,
had
do you know
the
that
temerity to take.
some of these parents sorry, go on, go on, go on. What did you say?
It's just I just feel sorry for the young man that the father took it this far to take him to court. It didn't ask to be born. In America, there's a young man who sold his parents for giving birth to him. And I think he won because he didn't ask to be born. If you bring a child to this life, it's your responsibility to raise that child. You're not entitled to it. I keep telling this to my kids every day. It gets to a point where you're old enough, we just help you to become the adult you need to become. We don't owe you anything, you don't owe us anything. That's life. We didn't ask you to be here. It's our responsibility to raise you. We don't bring you to this world so that somebody else will raise you. That's our responsibility. And if we're failing that responsibility, the consequences it will come back to us to haunt us. It's just sad that most African parents still don't get it. Children are not your old age pension or something. You have to make things. Even my mom who raised us, she doesn't demand from us the way our dad was expecting, which is so sad. It's very sad. It's very sad. And that's all I wanted to say
Thank you,
to
bro.
contribute. You're welcome. Take care. Thank
Thank
you.
you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Thank you. Hey, hello.
Hi, Phrankleen. Good evening. Can you hear
Can
me?
you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. This is
I can't hear you, Vanessa.
because the connection is a bit. Okay, let me leave and come
Come
back.
out of the studio and rejoin, okay? Because I want to hear from you. Come out of the studio and rejoin. Marilyn,
Can you hear me?
loud and clear.
Good. Hi, I'm calling from across the pond. Um,
Hey, what's up?
I am the daughter of Caribbean. I call myself Black American of Caribbean heritage because now that's the new thing here. When I was growing up, everybody was black. Didn't matter. If you were born in the United States, if you were black, you were black, and that was it. But now there's this new Renaissance thing where everybody's just identifying what island or country they come from. I'm not doing all that. I don't have time. I'm old. So I grew up in a different era. So I just say I'm Black American of Caribbean heritage. And it's also to give African Americans respect, especially if they ever do get reparations for what was done to them in this country. I think there should be a separation of that.
Right, okay.
But also, when you were talking about I just found your channel. I don't know why YouTube is recommending it to me, but I found your channel by accident. I think it was a story you did. You did so many great stories that I can't. I forgot which one really got me. But it's the same thing that all immigrants, because New York City is an immigrant haven. Any culture in America lives in. If they come to New York, they're in New York. If not New York, then they're going to be in Florida. If not Florida, LA. So it's like an immigrant haven. And everybody sends money back home, gifts back home. Luckily, my parents, I didn't. They wouldn't dare. They never asked us for anything because, for one, they came here at a, they worked. The money is, they made sure they look out for each other, you know,
That's right.
and I'm not looking out for anybody back home. I barely know those people, for one, and I got my own family. Like everybody, I got my own siblings I got to worry about. So I
So
can't
do
be.
you send money back home?
No, I don't. I don't have to. All my people are here.
All
I
right,
don't have that big. I don't have a big of a family. I don't have that big of a
live in the
family.
States, right?
My everybody was. They're in the United States. They're in New York. But I'm
So
talking about extended family.
right.
Extended
So
family that I don't know.
I'm guessing that even though your parents live in the States, they are fine. They don't bother you, with money issues and stuff like that. No?
Well, they passed away too. So when they
All
were
right.
alive, they made sure that we had. Do you understand? I mean, there was never a time that if they knew that we were broke I mean, they would never ask us for anything. Like when we went, if we graduated from college or whatever, they were, and if they,
Rejoin, please. Rejoin, please. Uh, the Diva Unstoppable. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good afternoon, good morning, good night, good evening to all the folks that's watching. I am from Jamaica, live here in the US. I found your channel. I think it was the one about paying bride price. And I totally agree with you. And ever since I subscribed every now and then, well, I've not been working for a month due to, minor health issues and stuff. And I just try to be here. And I thought about you earlier today too. I'm like, when does he come on? Like, and I realized I didn't have all notifications on. I'm like, oh my God, I'm here and I want to hear what's going on. And for real, like you spit fact for real.
Thank you.
And I just love watching, even if I'm not live with you, but when I catch it, like, oh my God, it's like, ooh, ooh.
So what do you
Yeah.
think about the topic at hand? What do you think? What's your take on
Oh
it?
yeah, that topic, that's crazy because I got some story of my own and as I said, I'm from Jamaica. I live in the US
Do
and
you
I'm
send
on a
money back?
green card. Pardon?
Do you send money back home?
Yes, I do. Especially to my dad. And there was a situation and I haven't fully overcome it. Like within my spirit, I've forgiven him, but I know he will not be able to find back that money to pay for the title. How are you gonna do a will and the land is not even paid for? They can throw you off the land at any time and I spend that money. I was the one that you mentioned my comment and you said, yeah, send 1,000 first. I think this was a 20,000 pound video to his mom and yeah. And I was live. I was live. I like to be live, I swear. And yeah, that affected me. And there was someone else in the comment section. I don't remember her name. And it just like be strong. But no, I know better, but it ain't no 20,000. It's less than 1,000 US. But I tell him put it in a bank. Oh, he gotta go get ID and this and that. His driver license was expired. And he run on in circles until he say, "Oh, I gotta get food and blah blah blah." And now he's almost going blind. And I'm here. I'm not gonna leave America to go sit down with you. I'm sorry. I only got one child. And he just turned 15. And I'm only 15 years older than him. So that whole generational wealth too, yeah. Cause I don't blow up my son tax money. I might use it one time and I work it back because I have my automatic saving that goes in every month, once a month, and I get paid every week. And I've not been working for a month, but I can sustain myself. And then my son won the iPhone for his birthday. 7. I'm like, we're in 13. We both got Samsung. What is the problem? Oh, he won. I don't know, but I got him the iPhone, and I was stressed the last 2 days. So I enjoy the fact that I even come and saw you live. I catch the whole lot. Well, not the whole live, but I saw, and I'm like, 73. You gonna sue me for my money? Suppose I do not work. How that? How does that work, Abby? Eh? I love my African people. My roots are in Africa. A triangular, everything. I got so much to say. Sometimes I
Thank
do
you.
not even know where to start. But
Thank
thank you
you.
and continue your great work.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Right. Right. Vanessa. Vanessa.
I hope you can hear me now. I'm not sure what's wrong with the connection tonight. Are we good?
Loud and clear. Loud and clear,
All
man.
right. Good evening, Phrankleen, and every other person, regardless of the time you're listening to this. Now, this particular subject matter, when I saw it online, I actually took time with a cup of tea to go through the comment section because I just wanted to know I wanted to see how other people were feeling before I came to my own conclusion. Now, this topic is I don't know. I'm not sure where I stand. If I'm for the kid or for the father, I find myself just sitting on the fence. If we think about as Africans, in all fairness,
Wait, you're sitting on the fence on this one. Really?
sorry,
You're sitting on the fence on this one.
I'm not saying I'm sitting on the fence. I just want to share my opinion because
All right, right.
it's dicey. It can go either way. Now, if we think about Africans and procreation, whether we like to admit it or not, our fathers had us, or their fathers, or whatever. We were the retirement plan, period. And think about it. My grandma has 12 kids. 12. They used to have a whole lot of kids. It's in recent times that parents started shrinking the number of children because they thought about the responsibilities. Back in the days, just have the child and let the child grow, and that was it. So the idea was you're gonna have kids, and then by the time you're entering the retirement age, your children will be working class people who would then care for you. That was just the formula. It wasn't there was no argument about that. And that worked for a while until, I don't know how many years ago, where our generation start having a different idea from that, and now we're trying to change it. Because sometimes I feel like we might be a bit too hard on our parents. This is what they knew. It's what they were brought up in. I'm
Right.
thinking this
Wait,
75-year-old man.
hold on. I like how you've highlighted that. Here is my concern. Watch this. I've always said it, like you are a product of your environment. And if that's all that you know, I agree. But let's unpack it. You see, the danger is what tends to happen. In fact, what we put so much energy into is replicating the cycle of poverty instead of building infrastructures that will improve our finance and how we get more assets. Because see, yeah, okay, that's all I know because I come from yada 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 generation, right? And then I think, yeah, it's my right to hound my children to death. Bring, you're saying to this child, when you latch onto the jugular and you are constantly demanding, they will be trapped in poverty. It's just a universal principle, especially when they're still trying to stay afloat as adults. They've got bills to pay, they've got their responsibility, and I'm expecting you, like for example, Nigeria, you might be the only one who's traveled abroad. Monthly parents want their upkeep. You're here in the UK or the US, you're struggling, it's expensive, you're working long hours, you got bills to pay, you have yourselves to feed, you might have your own children, you got siblings. Bring. Before you blink, the years go by. Oh, crypto. You haven't got money to invest in anything. Land. You can't buy jack. And trust me, there are countless number of black folks like that abroad. If I'm just looking from the abroad, diaspora point of view. And those people, I always say it in fairness, with all due respect, a lot of people that are trapped in poverty, it's not because they are useless or because they are incompetent. Some of them, it's because there is a massive hole in their wallets, in their pockets. It's a figure of speech. Like the other day, I bumped into a gentleman that said, Phrankleen, I live in the heart of London. After tax, I bring home £2,680 or something. He pays his rent. Wife had complication because of the recent birth from C-section. She can't work. He gets that. And then he has to take care of that. They eat, they feed, transportation and all that. And back home, he's got 2 siblings and 2 parents, mom and dad. One of the siblings gave him a surprise, got some random girl pregnant. They're both jobless. The parents subjected this guy to emotional blackmail. Oh, you can't turn your back on your brother now. You have to take care of the baby. And he's got children here in the UK. This guy was chatting to me and he's a 44-year-old man. He's got 0 assets. He said, Phrankleen, I can't even boast of £1,000 in savings because I don't have it. Carry on, Vanessa.
Okay, Phrankleen, I agree with you, and these are the reasons why things need to change. And this is where I say, okay. I always say the sad thing that parents don't understand is they think of children as their retirement plan. The only way your child can be your retirement plan is if you nurture them in love. Unless a child is brought up in love, they will neglect you.
Thank you.
It just is. Because if I love my parent, there's no way I wouldn't want to see them during the holidays. There's no way I wouldn't want to send them money There's no, I would want, if I love my parent, I'll be involved in their life as much as they are involved in my life. And I would know what their challenges are. And I would naturally contribute to taking that challenge away from them naturally. Unfortunately, parents don't get that. And now we're dealing with a woke generation who are heavily traumatized and are trying to break the circle so that we do not do the same thing to our children. So I'm trying to look at it from the father's point of view first before I go to the son's point of view. Now, for the father, if I'm thinking this is an extreme. I'm thinking about in an extreme situation. He sold his land, so basically he did all he could to give this son of his a good life, and in return he was expecting something. Right now, is it okay for a parent to expect their children to take care of them? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think expectation, can you expect your child to take care of you? Yes. Can you demand your child to take care of you? That's where the no comes in. The African parent works on the demand and with a sprinkle, not a sprinkle, with a rain of entitlement.
Right. Hold on.
You can expect.
Sorry, Vanessa. I like this comment. Somebody said, you see how Wadimaya keeps honoring his mother? That woman supports his work and even loves his Kenyan girlfriend. Exactly. Right before I connected with Wadimaya, never met him in person. He's a lovely chap, great guy, bangs out one of some of the finest content on YouTube and stuff. Represents Africa. Wadimaya, go check him out if you've never seen his channel. He's a good guy. Now, look at Wadimaya, for example. He's always, he lost his dad, unfortunately, but he's always clamoring, always professing, his love for his mother. And sometimes when you catch him off guard, when he's like neck deep in his emotions for a moment, he talks about how his mother's been supportive, really warm and a sweet woman. Doesn't mean she's not a no-nonsense woman. Doesn't mean when it's time to be firm or be stern or talk to him as a mother to a son, she can't be. But you see, the foundation, like what Vanessa was saying just now, look at the journey from when Wadimaya was nothing. When you have a healthy foundation, you don't need to go to the top of the hill with a megaphone. You don't need to get into some emotional karate chops to demand upkeep. It will flow to you like a river. The problem is, a lot of these things stem from the way you handle kids. I keep saying, when your children were growing through formative years and all you did was batter them, some parents, their tongue is sharper than a knife. You're always swearing and cursing, telling them that they wouldn't amount to nothing. Oh, they are this and this and this. You're always comparing your son, your daughter with your cousin, some other person's child on the road. Oh, they are this, they're useless because they had poor grades. People don't forget those things. They never forget. It sticks in their skull. So when they grow old, they're adults now. They control their own space now. You now want to make demands. It's payback time, bitch. Simple as that. We're humans. Forget the labeling, father, mother, daughter, son. They just look at you like, really, dude? And it's the evening part of your life when you have brittle bones now, when arthritis is sort of body slammed you now. That's when you should really be enjoying. But there are so many people that when they look at their parents, every time they set their eyeballs on them, it's a reminder of terrible memories. So you want me now to... And then some of them, sometimes, even some of these children try as adults to just say, you know what, okay, maybe she handled the situation how best she knew. Some even try as adults to put it behind them and still find it in their heart to show you love and say, okay, you know what, I'll do my bit. I'll cater for you to the best of my ability. The boy tells you, I'm still in the UK trying to find my feet. I've got bills to pay. Mom, I can only give you £100 a month for now. And you start cursing them out. You tell them they're not good enough. And some people end up, they just cut you off. That's why. Wrap up, Vanessa. Go on.
Okay, yeah. So we're still saying the same thing. So love is the only way to make sure your children take care of you. Unfortunately, the average African parent believes is by just throwing money at you and while you suffer emotional trauma in other aspects of your life. When that happens, when that child grows up, they run away from that trauma. Everyone is born naturally with love. It takes a traumatic experience to take that default love away from them. So back to the guy side. I'm just wondering, I wish there was more context to this.
Yeah, got you.
What did the father do to you? Because I have a philosophy. When I see older people whom are struggling, first is, do they have kids? And if the answer is yes, my next question is, what did you do to your kids? Because there is no way you didn't hurt them and they're going to just abandon you. So if this man, not boy, pardon me, if this man has chosen not to care for his father in his old age, I am wondering what trauma he is
I'll be
running
honest
away
though. The
from.
bit that surprised me from that story, though, to be honest, I'm aligning with you now, is where they said, we don't know how far that is true, but based on the article, that they've not seen him for 17 years. Is that possible? 17 years.
It is possible that that guy just
Wow.
ran away from home and never looked back. And this pain of bride price, I interpreted it as they went to marry a wife for him and not necessarily his choice of a woman. Because if I haven't seen you for 17 years, where did you go and pay for? How did you pay my dowry? Like, we haven't seen in 17 years. So I think that pain of dowry, all that cow thing, is his father wanting him to marry into a certain family, probably for financial benefits for the
I
father,
love that,
and the son
Vanessa.
is just completely.
It's nice that you mentioned that, because some of these people, especially when they force you to marry the wrong partner,
Exactly.
and you can't say no.
Exactly. That's the way I interpreted it. And I understand that that is very possible in the Kenyan culture. Your family just goes to go and pledge you to another family and pay the bride price, and you're supposed to just follow suit. So this guy is obviously not going with that. But here's the thing, though, that I want to say. I understand that this woke generation of ours, we are dealing with our childhood traumas. And in doing so, we are literally taking away the source of the trauma, and most times the parents or family or whatever. But let's be careful while doing this. If your parent brought you up in love, take care of your parents. It's just the humane thing to do.
Of course.
I see people whom their household, their parents, the mother is probably selling akara at the street junction, and this guy
Wait,
is a
wait,
bloody
wait, wait.
philanthropist.
Those are extreme cases. I know, and I'm not
No,
trying to put that under the carpet. From a diasporan point of view, one of the very common ones with African parents, let's touch this one, is a lot of people, just like nearly 500 people are watching right now. People, I don't, everyone has got their stories unique to them. But check this out. The one that's prevalent in the black community is, you have a son or daughter abroad. Mom, I can only give you £150, or I can only monthly, or I can only afford $200 a month, or something like that, right? Hypothetically speaking. They tell you, this is my situation. I've got to renew my papers. I need to save up for lawyer fees. I need to pay my, the relevant immigration fees, my rent, my council tax, my this and this. If I'm discussing with a son and or a daughter that I claim to truly love, I claim to have a healthy relationship with, and they found it out of the abundance of their heart to give me something, and then they're saying, Dad, look, man, I'd love to give you more. This is my situation. Why don't you believe them and be sensible and say, okay, as much as I would need 500 pounds, as an example, my son can only give me 150 for now, or 200. Why can't you be grateful? Do you understand? Let that 200 go as far as it can
Yeah.
go. Okay, maybe you were getting money monthly, and I'm like, Dad, please, I'm unable to give you anything this month because of XYZ. Okay, that's a bit of a disappointment. I'm not going to die this month, except the universe says it's my time to leave this planet. Do you understand? Why can't you
Yes,
just
I do.
understand with love? But the problem with African parents, some of these psychopathic ones, is they would turn a blatant disregard to where the shoe hurts, to your own challenges and struggle as an adult. And it's gimme, gimme, give me, no, no. Your sisters are waiting, your brothers are waiting. Oh, you can't give me. Oh, some of them go as far as blackmailing their children. It's quite prevalent. And that's where resentment grows up. That's where argument. Like somebody was saying earlier, imagine that guy and his sister or brother, they were trying to take care of a father that wasn't really there for them. They still found it in their heart. He lied about stroke. A lot of daily extortion is extortion and diasporans. They are like conjoined twins. They take the piss. It happens all the time. Imagine your mother calls you, you're in the UK, you're working 14 hours shift a day. Oh, this and this and this. Oh, my shoulder, my collar blade. Oh, my shoulder, my elbow. I fell down. Ah, mom, you fell down the stairs. Oh my God. You may not even have the money. You call your friend, please borrow me. I want my mom to go do bone scan. My mom fell down. Oh my God. Oh, you're probably even crying. Imagine when you find out that woman has managed to scam you because she thinks she's clever. She's miles away from you. She knows you don't have papers yet. You can't jump on the plane to come and find out. And then she connives with your sibling. Oh, yeah. They find a bogus doctor. They forge documents. People do all sorts. And some people, the moment they find out, they cut everybody off.
Yeah.
It's prevalent.
It
Some
still
parents
boils
will be
down.
like, you must send 2 of your siblings to university. Why? I didn't give birth to them.
Yeah. It boils down
Anyway, wrap up so I
to
can bring other people on. Go on.
okay, so it boils down to I'm still taking it back to there's no love. The African family is not really about love, because if it's brought up in love, then you actually understand your son's life. So your son is in the UK, he's earning £2,000 a month. You would know his house rent, you would know what his electricity bill comes down to. You would have a vague idea of how your son is, if there is love and you guys actually communicate enough, you have an idea. And so your demands will not be inhumane. And this is my final point. As African children or as Africans who are now trying to deal with their childhood traumas, it is important for you to take charge of your life. If you know you're earning X amount and you really you still want to care about your family for whatever reasons, draw a line in your head. If you know you can only afford to spend £500 on family problems every month, then that's it. It doesn't matter how they are whining you or not whining you. You have a budget for family problems. Stick to it. Don't allow yourself get bullied. Don't allow yourself get blackmailed. Don't allow it. It's up to you. You need to own the process. And I think that's what this young man has done. He is in charge of his life. I am sure before the father decided to go to court, they must have tried other ways to access him, and access was denied. And now the father is trying to subpoena him by getting the courts to be involved. This young man, I see him as someone that has taken charge of his life. I try to think of extreme situation. Now, we may not know the context of it. What if this man comes out and tells us, from the age of 7 to 18, he raped me. So that is why when I ran away from house, I'm just saying, what if this guy is traumatized? Everybody is born with love by default. If he's running away, what did you do to him?
Probably,
that's my question.
Probably bit the crap out of the.
Something happened.
Go and feed the cows.
Something. It could be anything, which is why this story, I try to go on the Kenyan blogs to see if there is a part where the man is talking. I couldn't really get anything. I want to hear his version of the story. I want him to paint a picture of his father. And I'm sure when he does, everyone is going to understand why he cut off his father. Something happened. We don't know it, but in any event, take charge of your life. Don't allow your parents or family or whatever to control you. And, don't do the same to your children. Bring up your children with love. It's the only way to guarantee you are not going to be alone later in life. Just before I go, I want to share something I read maybe 2 years ago of a mother, of a single mother who raised her child, or who raised her children by herself. She was a banker. She made it to the top of the industry, and she was financially there for her children. I repeat, financially. They went to the best schools, they had the best gadgets, they had everything money could buy. But she was an absent mother. Obviously, she was a banker. She grows old, suddenly becomes sick, and she doesn't see her children. Do you know what they did to her? They bought her a nurse. Let me use that word, bought her. The children were also financially there for her. Financially. She didn't bring them up in love. They could not reciprocate the love back to her. Instead, they threw money at her to treat whatever alignment she had, but she didn't see them. And what she really wanted was to see her children. So her daughter sent her a message and reminded her that I'm not doing this to be mean to you. I'm doing this because this is what I know, because that's what you showed me.
That's right.
So the daughter is just paying for the medical bills, but she's also chasing her career, and she's not emotionally there for her mother. So let's try and find a balance, and let's do things in love and not out of love. In love. It's the only way we can break this trauma circle from our parents and not transfer it to our children. And African parents need to, I'm sure by now they will catch on to the fact that we as children are not assets. We're gifts. We're not assets, we're a gift. If your child cares for you, congratulations. It just shows that you raised them well. If your children are not caring for you, be able to share alone. Go and ask God for forgiveness.
There are some parents.
There are some callous children.
Let me tell you, there's some parents that emotionally damage their children, right? Let's call a spade a spade. There is this category. There's the category of the good parents that shower their children with love. They did their best, and they reaped what they sowed later on in life. And there were the ones that were pure jerks. They were mean.
Yeah.
They didn't spend quality time with them. There was no emotional bonding. Some of them didn't even give those children proper education. Some fathers wandered off and got 2, 3, 4 other women pregnant, and all the shebang, right? And those children, some of them grow in spite of all of this. They still grow up and still find it in their heart to say, hey man, $100 for you monthly. And those terrible parents are usually the loudest. Oh, so you're giving me $100. After
That's all you
bringing
can
you
give
to
me,
this
your
world,
father.
oh, blah, 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 blah. I need $400 from you monthly or I'm going to curse you. And then you lose your mind like, God damn. It happens all the time. But anyway, thank you, Vanessa. Let me bring on the next person. Thank you very much. You've been
All
amazing.
right.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too. Thank you. Thank you very much. Solo, are you there? Solo is run off. Let me see. So before I bring on the next person, please, let's just make it short. Okay. I should have been checking the time, but I was enjoying Vanessa's contribution. All right. So, why are people disappearing now? Mbali,
Good evening. How are you?
I'm all right. You?
Good, thank you. Good. Yeah, I think people are going to bed. That's why they're disappearing. Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I'll definitely make it quick. I think from my point of view, now I have been here for more than half my life now. My parents have lived here, so they know what life is like here in the UK. Now they've gone back home. Home is South Africa, and I don't send money to them. Firstly, I don't send money to them because I've
You
got
naughty girl.
what? I don't send money to them because my own family to look after. And this, the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki
Yeah.
talks about if the problem with if you give somebody money, it keeps them poor, it keeps them in that state of mind. So obviously, a lot of people, that's what they've been taught to give, to support their parents, give them money every single month. Now, our generation, as we begin to learn those things that we've been taught growing up, all of a sudden, oh, you want to put that £100 a month to be able to save up to be able to invest into something. And then all of a sudden, your parents now get angry, they start cussing you, all of these things. And the sad part for our people as well is that some of us here that have young children, oh, your parents back home, oh, you need to look after your siblings back home, you need to look after this person, but your child only has one pair of shoes. Oh, now you wanted to buy your child a nice jacket for winter, but oh, now you can't because you have to send that money back to your parents, or you have to look after your siblings who they themselves are grown.
And these things
So
actually, they've led
yes,
to so how do I say, man? They've led to the breakup of so many relationships
yes, yes, and
because
as you said, yeah,
it turns out selfish in the eyes of your partner. Not that
yes,
any sensible partner would say don't give anything to your family or anything, but
yes,
when you're shelling that money, boom, 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 and then like you said, you got kids, you can't even afford
exactly,
to support them with food, clothing, and the
exactly.
normal stuff.
And then it's 20 years later and you have no assets. And now you think, okay, what are you now going to pass down to your children? So for
Mm,
me, I mean, I said in the comments, I'll give money to my family when it's things like birthdays and Christmas, definitely. And then sometimes, I mean, my mom still works, but my dad is now, he gets a pension. So definitely for special occasions, I will give money, but that's because I want to, not because I have to. But it's also the thing of, okay, look, I am learning about, different types of assets and trying to build assets because again, in 20 years' time, I won't have the energy that I have right now. So, I mean, I've said this to my parents before, and yeah, they are understanding and they know what life is like here. And yeah, they know what life is like here. But for a lot of
I always
people back
say,
home,
I always
don't.
say to my lovely lady that what I really want for my old age, all right, to be
Yes.
quite frank,
Yep.
is to be self-sufficient.
Yes.
So by the time bones start to get brittle, you should
Yes.
lean back, just enjoy, take it
Yes.
easy. And I don't want, honestly speaking, and I mean it, I don't want to have to call on any child before
Exactly.
keeping my house warm or before if I want to eat grilled fish or hey, let's jump on the next cruise or on the plane. Let's go somewhere. Let's go to this
Exactly.
island. Treat yourself. Let's go
Yes.
shopping. And do you get what I'm saying? So,
Exactly.
but if my children then say, "Hey, Dad, surprise, happy birthday, Dad. Hey, what's that? Here is a holiday package for you." Of course,
Yeah.
I'll be absolutely grateful.
Definitely,
Accept it with
definitely, and
love.
we did that for our mom this year because my mom turned 60 this year. So one of my sisters back home, paid for a weekend for them to go to a really nice resort. We then contributed money to buy a cake, get us some flowers, get them enough money to be able to, pay for a couple of treatments. But we did that because we wanted to, not because we had to.
And that's lovely. And
Yeah.
that's nice.
Mhm.
That's where the love circulates and all that. And I'm
Yes.
sure your mom must have been grateful, be happy, have
Very,
a beautiful smile.
very,
That's exactly what I'm saying.
very.
Now, and I know on the other side, there are parents like in Africa, some parents might be selling like food, fried akara or things on the roadside. They had to go
Yeah.
through the mud to
Yeah.
pay, again, any it's not really about the fact that you had to go through the mud. See,
Yes.
when we look at it with a degree of compassion, of course, that's
Yes.
lovely. But
Yes.
as I'm sat here, if an emergency arises now, I'm in front of a camera now, boom, I've
Yes.
not planned for it, and I need to spend £3,000 on my children. Trust me, I will spend it in a flash.
Yes.
Now, that may then leave me a bit broke, but it's my responsibility.
Yes. And that's the thing. Your children are your responsibility, not your parents. Because some of these parents will say,
But
"Oh,
I'm
well,
not going to be
I gave you."
spending that and hoping,
Exa-
yeah, you better remember me when I
It's like,
grow
"Oh,
old.
I
You
gave
gotta
you
you gotta
life."
pay back. You know what, man? If you don't want to pay
Yes.
back, the universe will sort me out. And if
Yes.
I get my own finance in order, I wouldn't have to be reliant on you. But like I said earlier, life happens. I've
Yes.
seen the smartest of people with great jobs. Things happen. You might have health issues. Your source of
Yes.
income then stops. But if there is a good foundation,
Yes.
healthy relationship with your children from start, I'm talking hypothetically now. See how you're talking about
Yeah.
your parents. I don't wish them any bad or your mom or anything. But say it came to a point where, oh, it looks like, okay, fine. We have to look after mom now. I'm sure you would try your best. But
Definitely.
the foundation of that is if you grew up with a good, healthy relationship with your mother, you wouldn't
Yes.
mind, you
No.
know, doing whatever it is you can do as an adult. And she wouldn't have to be on your neck like, Mbali, where's the money?
Exactly.
No.
If I turn around and said to my mom, "Look, mom, I want to start giving you, say something like £25 a month," she would be very grateful. And also, but at the same time, she said to me, "Okay, how about you? Are you sorted? Is your husband sorted? Is your child sorted? Before you give me that money, I need to have you paid all of your bills. Then if you've got that money, yes, that is great. If you don't, no, I'd rather you then save that money for something else."
There is a guy, one of the people that watches my channel, I'll tell you this quickly, that I saw the other day. He in central London, and he was telling me that, Franklin, if you see my living condition, he lives in a shared house, yeah, with
Yes.
like 6 or 7 other dudes.
Wow.
Like he's struggling, right? And he can barely survive. He's trying his best, and he still squeezes out £100 monthly to send
Wow.
home to Nigeria, like
Ooh.
to support.
Yes.
But no, 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 now check this. I am being honest here. Mom lives in a 3-bedroom bungalow. Fair enough. His dad built that in the early 90s. Yeah. Dad is late
Yeah.
now. So she lives
Yeah.
in a 3-bedroom bungalow with master's bedroom, ensuite, bathroom and toilet, walk-in wardrobe.
Wow. This is living the life.
And she's got a house help,
Mm.
sort of like some daughter from extended part of the family, sort of looking after her. And the other siblings, some of his older brother also live in the house. The house is spacious. They have their own cars. He is
Wow.
here
in
struggling.
cold
He can
London,
barely survive.
struggling.
So he said there was a time that he said, Mom, please, you're gonna have to bear with me for 2 months. I'm not gonna be able to send £100. And this woman went ballistic, called
That
him
is
all
sad.
sorts of colorful names,
Wow.
threatened him that he'll be ostracized, he's ungrateful. Oh, now he's got into England. Oh, he's
Just
turned out to be this
because.
type of child, blah, 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 blah.
Wow.
And the guy was telling me, you see, I don't know this guy from anywhere, but I was looking into his eyes. I could see the pain. All I just said was, look here, big man.
And how
Do
sad
you
is that?
look
That the
after yourself?
relationship is built on money, though. Like, how sad is that? Because it's true. Like, one of the things that Vanessa was saying is that there isn't really love when it comes to a lot of African families, because for the mother to say that to her own child because he's struggling and can't give £100, that says a lot about her as a mother. That says a lot about her as a mother.
You know, when people say love rules, love, I agree, but you see, don't mix love with foolishness, though.
Yes.
I'll tell you that much. I agree.
Difference.
I'm not refuting your claims. I get where people are coming from. Yeah, but love rules. Let love rule. You see, love rules. In right there is an opening to emotional blackmail and entrapment.
Yes.
That's how they get you. That's how
Definitely.
you fall into that slippery slope. Oh, love. I know, let love rule. And then you're playing God. You have everybody on your shoulder. And then you're broke. That's why people leave abroad for 15, 20 odd years. And then you go home and then you see your siblings and you're like, whoa, holy smoke. Is that your car? Like
Range Rover, Bentley.
Hold on. You built a bungalow and then they tell you, oh yeah, we're managing. And then you look, you're trapped in the council flat in England.
Yep.
You got a mountain of bills. The only thing you've got going on is your British accent and your passport.
Yep.
And there are plenty of people like that.
There are plenty.
So are we saying don't take care of parents? Definitely not. But if you're doing that at your own detriment or at the detriment of your children,
and that's what a lot of our people
or
are,
your marriage,
detriment.
Nah.
No, not at all. Because you have to take care of yourself first before
Solo,
you
you're
take
back.
care of others.
You disappeared.
That's what you need to do. But that's me done anyway.
Thank you, Mbali. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hello.
Yeah, Phrankleen, good evening. I'm speaking from New York.
Hey, good evening, brother.
How are you doing? You're doing a great job. Yeah, as I was listening, my kids were listening to the conversation in the background.
All right.
And the oldest one is 9. The other one is 6. And they came to me to say, just like what you have been saying, that how did that father raise his kids? How did he raise that son? That if the father has been good to that son, that they don't think the child will abandon him or the child will not support him. That it is not supposed to be that you are expecting it from that child to do something back for you. That naturally, the 9-year-old was telling me that naturally you will want to support that father who has done everything for you to raise you, that it is the duty of the father, as little as they are, they can understand that it is your duty that you are doing for them. You can imagine the mindset that they have, even as kids. But my own understanding of this type of issue is that, the way we were brought up in Africa, where your parents don't have much, then they tried everything possible to raise you. Then in their mind, they think you are owing them. That everything they are doing for you is like they are saving money up somewhere. Then you are supposed to come back and reciprocate. So, and that is why most of the time, all of them, or most of them, think you should give back. Then they put your younger ones on you to raise for them. Sometimes the father have other children from another woman. He wants you to raise them, especially if you are the first son. Then,
Do you know?
then
Let
they
me
tell
tell
you,
you this. Yeah, let me tell you this. There's somebody that told me exactly what you just said. This guy is here in the UK, and his stepmom, as at last week, they sent him a bill of 3.7 million for him to pay for the stepmom's son's wedding. 3.7 million naira. And the guy is losing his mind.
So I think what is happening now is like people are now trying to have a change of mind or a new mindset that, hey, you people, I'm not your ATM. You have to sort yourself out. but the real thing is that it's good to look after your parents. It's good to reach out to them in their old age. It's good to, but you have to be good yourself first before you can say, oh, you are doing this, you are doing that. But the burden they have placed on us is that from beginning, from onset, they place that burden on you that, oh, once I have a child, then it is automatic. They think it is automatic.
There's a lady that went home recently. I remember this. She sent me an email and said, Phrankleen, when I was going to Nigeria, I actually set aside 500,000 to 600,000 naira to do whatever it is they need at home. And then the lady got home. They said, oh, they needed something to do with the generator was faulty and they needed to buy a part. So she decided to buy them a new one. She fixed things here and there. And then the mom and dad were like, no. She had already, within a week, she spent 620,000 naira. And then the mom and dad was just like, no, sit down. They brought out this big exercise book. Hear me. And then they said, this is the breakdown. And it's and I was asking, I was already laughing. I said, how much? The lady said, Phrankleen, it was 4.6 million.
You see, most of the time, all these stories, and most of the things you see, you say, they resonate with someone like me.
Yeah.
Most of the time, most of the stories that you tell, they resonate with me because I have a lot of people calling. Everybody wants a bite of whatever you are doing. They think you are here because I don't know what that mindset and
they just think foreign currency when they see it.
Recently, there was a cousin that I would normally say, oh, take this, take that. So later he moved. I think at the beginning of the year, he moved to Turkey, and he was there, and he got something doing. Then later he called, oh, my wife put to bed in Nigeria. Oh, I congratulated him and all of that. Then about 4 days after, he had to call me and he sent me a chat, WhatsApp, that, oh, despite the fact that you are the first person I called to tell you that my wife back in Nigeria put to bed, you didn't even call my mommy back in Nigeria to congratulate them, to greet them, and you are the first person. Oh, I said, oh, I was busy. I have kids here too. I have a lot of things. I have to go to work, come back, do all of that. I have my own life too. He said I should get out because he expected that, oh, I'll normally send something just like I have always been doing. But this person too got his own life to live. But they don't want to understand. And that is why most of the time I tell people, don't start what you cannot continue.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you start, people think you are ATM and you should just be giving it. Even the ATM, if you don't have money credit in your account, it doesn't give you money. Even the ATM, and everybody can't just go to the ATM and be making withdrawals.
You
It is
must
if
never
you have credit.
you must never let family know what you're earning, man. Never. People make that mistake. You must never be too
Yeah,
carried away. The moment
yeah,
you
you're right.
even if you make reference to, oh, I did this small business, I made 2 million naira, you're done. They're already planning on that money, man.
Yeah, they already think they should get something from whatever you have. Yeah, I'm done. Thank you, sir. Thank
Bro.
you, Phrankleen. You're doing.
Thank you, man. Jay.
Hi, Phrankleen. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. Because the volume is a little bit low on my end. Yeah. So the one thing I wanted to talk about, and I think you touched on it a little bit, was around this whole issue of loving your parents, growing up in love, and all that stuff. I feel like that might be too blanket of a statement to make, and the only reason why I'm coming from that approach, and I'm going to give an example of my dad. Back in the day, he was like the last born out of 12 children, and his parents had passed away before he was even 3. So the responsibility of raising my dad fell on the elder siblings. So there was this particular older sibling that paid for my dad to go to primary school, and then my dad eventually got scholarship, and the rest is history. If you look at that on the surface level, you're like, oh yeah, that's a very loving family. But unfortunately, that uncle of mine took complete advantage of the fact that he loved my dad enough to help him to get an education. So example, he'll come to the house, and my dad had kids, right? He had bills, he had a wife, right? And he had all these responsibilities, but he would come to the house. I remember one specific day he came, and him and his wife, and they came a little bit late. So my mom was like, let's put their food in the microwave to warm it. And then before they left, the guy is like, you see this microwave, the way it's just spinning and spinning, and you just put food inside, and then after 2 minutes, the food is ready. She will not take this microwave home. They took that microwave with them home. They took it home, and they were using that emotional blackmail that you talked about earlier on. That and according to my uncle, in his opinion, he's responsible for raising up my dad and giving him the education that he needed, but he used that as an advantage to emotionally blackmail him. There were times where my dad was still trying to put together school fees for all of us, because we were going to school, and we're not that far apart in age. So when September comes, the bill is really, really big to pay school fees, and this guy would send him texts, send me 100K, send me 150K. And at some time, when I would tell him I can't do it because we have to pay the school fees. Let's wait for us to pay the children's school fees, and then that's how fights will start. And then my mom will be the one that's responsible for not sending the money, and then they're trying to cause problems because of that entitlement that, oh, I loved you and I took care of you, so now. Yeah. And it's like, guys, so I say all of this to say, yes, there might be love, but there's some people that can love you, but they're also greedy people at the same time. Because somebody loves you doesn't mean that they don't have the trait of greed and entitlement. So because somebody loves you doesn't mean you should give them complete access to your life. Everybody should have boundaries. Because of how I saw, you know, the way they treated my parents, I don't hesitate now to say I don't have it. If I don't have it, I don't have it. Do I send money home? Yes, but I send money home when I can do it. And I'm luckily enough, my parents have learned, and they don't ask me. They actually never do ask me. I usually find out that, oh, I need to send money home, so they don't put pressure on me. But make sure that you set boundaries for yourself. People might love you and have the best intentions, but because you have love in your heart doesn't mean automatically you don't have greed all of a sudden, because greed is greed and love, they are two completely different traits, and you can have both as a person. So let's just be careful and be firm in setting boundaries with our family members, because once you give them
Be
once.
firm in setting boundaries. I love
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Phrankleen.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you. Ndolo, are you there?
Hi, Franklin. I was on mute. Sorry.
Yeah. So you're the last person for tonight. Wrap up. Let's go.
Hey, okay, no problem. I know it's quite late on your end, but I do think in this case it's a no, no, no. Whether this father has done heaven and earth for this child and he's extremely successful, he is not obligated to, right? I mean, there's always a saying, you can give birth to children, but you don't give birth to their hearts. And
Mm.
if you have 4 kids and one turns out successful, you can hold him accountable for the other 3 who are not. They should do something for themselves, right? As an African, as someone who spent 23 years of her life growing up in Cameroon, I know
Are you
what it
from
is.
you're from Cameroon?
Yes, I'm from Cameroon.
All right. Go on.
So I know what it entails to look after your parents, um, to work and give them a portion of your salary or share things with them and all that, blah, 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 blah. But having lived here for 8 years, right? I think we are depleted of the basic knowledge of personal finance and financial literacy, right? For instance, I am an only child. I was an only child to my mom, and she was a business lady. She owned her own businesses, and some of them were not successful, right? But she owned her house, so she was not paying rent. And I was giving when I send money home, I'm not giving her as an allowance or a steady allowance. I'm just more like, well, take it into whatever you want. So I was not exaggerating that. But when her businesses slowed down and they were not coming as they used to be, then I had to increase that. But at some point, it became like an obligation. You must. Like, I think like it's small, I started feeling that way. And I was like, it's not right. You don't know how I live. I have bills. I have all these that I need to do, even though she's the only person I sent money to back home. But if parents have kids, let's say, instead of having 7 kids, why not have 2 so that you're able to sponsor 2 children and you're able to build something for yourself? I mean, no, frankly, you're laughing, but this is the mindset that we need to start putting in our community. I don't know how far it would go, but it will save us from all this expectation in old age. You must take care of me, honestly, because I think every African person living in the diaspora today will not expect their kids to take care of them when they're old. I don't think so, because kids grow up in this society and they want to be like their peers, like their white peers who are already here, who have inheritance, who have life insurance from their parents, who have assets, properties that are given to them. Peers, like their white peers who are already here, who have inheritance, who have life insurance from their parents, who have assets, properties that are given to them. Sorry, I'm hearing myself echo.
Go on.
Oh, okay. Yes. So when your kids start seeing what they've been deprived from because there's that expectation, you'll start suffering. So we are trying to find a balance today so that we don't repeat the mistakes our parents made. That's right. If we try to start having these conversations, they will save us from a lot of trouble. I don't know. It's going to be hard, but we can always start. So
the problem is you've made very, very powerful points. The problem is when you're dealing with some of these African parents, they're usually set in stone. Their ways are set. So
Yes,
you can only make headway with someone who chooses to be diplomatic, who chooses to be,
true.
maybe logical and,
And
okay,
contented.
and then listen and hopefully like, oh, all right, okay, fair enough. But it's
Yes.
like, no, you don't get to tell me. You do as you're told, and
Mhm.
that's the
I
problem.
don't know if this is a problem from colonialism or customary community lifestyle, but one thing I can say is my grandmother was a nurse and she had 4 kids and she left, like, she gave them all land. All her 4 children have land that she worked, bought, and gave it to them. She has a pension, so whatever every child sends to her, it's a bonus. Nobody puts her on a steady monthly allowance. She's able to hire a help. She pays the lady, she pays her bills, and she lives in a house which she's not paying rent. And yet she
Mm.
was still able to pass something on to her children. So those are rare cases, but you see that happening. And it takes a lot, like, for other African parents to do, because they believe if they have 10 kids, all the 10 kids, or at least 5 of them, will make them wealthy.
Ah, boy.
That's it for me.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you to Dolo. Thank you to everyone that's contributed tonight. It's amazing. Well, for me, I think it's quite extreme to, sue your own child for upkeep. Preferably, maybe give consideration to an alternative dispute resolution if you're that desperate. Maybe have a sit down to have a chat if they desperately need that help. But yeah, the moment you start getting governmental authorities like the judiciary involved, that's crazy. This is not child support. There'll be bad blood forever, man. If a father does that to me, I'll probably just pack my bags and leave Kenya, move to another African country, go start my life, and cut them off completely. Come back when they die out. Look at the 3 younger siblings that are jobless. They're expecting them to bring money and they can't do anything. On a final note, thank you to everybody. Take care of your loved ones, especially the ones that were really good to you. I cannot know your story. There's no way I'm going to know your background except you share with me. I don't know who raised you, how you were raised and stuff. But in all that you do, and this comment is in the best interest of Black excellence, so we can alleviate, we can remove ourselves from the cycle of poverty, so that we can do better. You can have a good life at least, and hopefully pass on. This is how we can cut and terminate the cycle of poverty. You have to discipline yourself. Financial discipline, financial knowledge. Even me, as I'm sat here, I am not an epitome of knowledge. Every day there's always something brand new to learn. Every month, every week, every new scenario, every situation, there's always something to compare with where you're coming from and be like, oh, right, let me do it this way, let me approach it this way. And yeah, so many people have sent me emails. Some of these emails, I have a truckload of them. They are heartbreaking. Some of them, I don't even know how to approach them. Some of the people that send them, they get mad at me. Oh, Phrankleen, why are you not telling my story? I'm not ignoring you. Sometimes it's painful. There is one 59-year-old woman. She's going to turn 60 this December. She spent her years in England raising siblings, extended families back home in Nigeria, sending money over the years. Now she's got health issues. Now she's broke. She's got nothing. She took early retirement because of her health issues. All of the people that she raised, they don't give a toss. And that's life. so you don't end up at crossroads. You don't end up at a point where you have a giant question mark dangling over your head. The simple message is look after yourself. That's what I'm saying, man. The 73-year-old man has lived his life. Love your parents, like Vanessa said, and all the other wonderful people, contributors. I believe that people that are good, if you're a good person, love will flow towards you organically. Organically being the objective word. You wouldn't have to fight for it. That's all I'm saying. Jabrila, I'll get to you about Adron Homes. If you're interested in real estate, owning lands, look at the details below. Ask me for an application pack to own lands. If I've not replied to you, I'll get back to you. Jabrila, I'll send you an email, right? My name is Phrankleen. I'm the brain behind this platform. Thank you once again, and I'll most definitely catch you in the very next one. Peace and love. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Bye-bye now.